Day 26, let's do a short and sweet flow for the whole body. So from here, you will come to hands and knees. Feel free to have padding. It'll be nice to have a firm block with you and a soft block if you have some options. So for now, we'll just come to a hands and knees position. You want to kind of sit back on your heels, spread out your fingertips, and then really root down through the pads of your fingertips before you come forward. Round your spine to the ceiling and take a couple big breaths. So your hands are heavy, your shins are heavy, the tops of your feet, to help exaggerate the lift of your back body to the ceiling and the tuck of your tailbone towards the floor. Good. And then come into a back bend. Arching your spine, lift your tailbone, pull your hands and shins towards each other. And then round. This time with a rounded position, tuck your toes under and hover your knees a few inches off your mat. And re-tuck your tailbone, re-lift into your back body, spread your shoulder blades. Dip your right knee to the floor and try to lift the back of the left side of your pelvis up to the ceiling. And then switch. And keep switching slow and steady, keeping your knees hovering. Your femurs are parallel to each other. Let me show you from the side. So we're just getting this little rotational movement while pulling the femur back towards the back bowl of your pelvis. And then it's so hard to maintain that rounded spine. So you just do your best to re-arch and then take these dipping moves side to side. Good. Okay, and then let's release. Stand on your knees or sit back on your heels and shake it out. Maybe some big circles. And then we'll come up to downward facing dog. Spread your toes out wide. Reach your hips up and back. Good. Okay. And then Uttanasana. From here, if you can, roll up through your spine. So really tuck your tailbone down and roll up. As you come to stand, sweep your arms up overhead. Inhale. And then exhale, float your hands in front of your heart. Another in-breath. And exhale, your hands by your sides. From here, glue your pinkies to your sides, grow as tall as possible. Slide your hands up your side body. Pull your elbows together and re-strengthen between breastbone and pubic bone. And then keeping your elbows pinned towards each other, extend your arms straight and then re-bend. Squeeze the elbows together and then extend and straighten your arms a few times, re-exaggerating the strength and stability between the breastbone and your pubic bone. Good. Draw the elbows closer together. Can your hands slide any higher up? And then maintaining that height as you extend your elbows straight. One more. Good. And then float the arms down. And take a couple big circles of your shoulders in your first direction first. And then in your second direction second. Just to be redundant. Good. And then let's reach up and over with the left arm and leaning to the side. And then switch. Good. Really pushing the feet down into the floor and spreading them apart. Let's do a second round where you can rotate a little bit towards the floor. And then switch. Stabilize between breastbone and pubic bone. Rotate a little bit towards the floor. And switch. Good. Okay, from here, now it's your thumbs closest towards your body. Reach your hands back behind you. As far as you can, stabilize between breastbone and pubic bone. Bend your elbows and extend. Bend and extend. Externally rotate your arms and take them up overhead at that high V shape. And then bend your elbows. Can your hands hover behind your head without touching you? Can you strengthen your front abdominal core? Can you pull your elbows further back? Good. And then extend, internally rotate, reaching back behind you and bend. And then straighten, externally rotate, reaching up and bend Oh, I did the elbows together, elbows apart as far as you can, trying to pull them back. Extend and release. Good. Okay, sweeping the arms back up overhead. Inhale, exhale, Uttanasana. And as you're ready, stepping back to downward facing dog. From downward dog, pivot the heels to the right and reach up through your hips. Feel the length in your left side body. So we're still in downward dog with this little twist. And then switch. Reaching up and back, feel the length now in the right side of your body. And then going back to your first side, shift forward into plank. As you shift into plank, really lift into your upper back. And then downward dog. Switch your heels to the left. Shift forward plank, lift into your upper back. Good. And then classic dog. So feet parallel, toes spread out wide, reach up through your hips. And then we'll release and come down. Good. Okay, so from here we'll do this in stages. We'll come and lay on our left hip. And with your knees bent, you'll put the block at the medium height in front of your left shin. And then come onto your elbow. So my right shin, right knee ends up on the block at the medium height. Elbow is, a little bit out from your shoulder, say. And we'll do this in stages. Make sure your joints are happy. And then broaden the rib cage away from your elbow, the bottom elbow. And stabilize between breastbone and pubic bone. And then from here, the knee on the block can get quite heavy to help you lift up into your side plank position, modified side plank, exaggerating the adductors of your right thigh. The inner thigh is helping to do some lifting. Your left leg could be as light as you'd like. Good. Can you lift your hips any higher? Restabilize between breastbone and pubic bone. Breathe into your back body a little bit more, maybe than you are at first. And notice as your head way forward of your pose. Good. Okay, and then we'll release that. And we'll just slide our left knee forward. So I'm just sliding that block out of my way now. And the right knee slides back roughly in line with my pelvis. Again, stabilize between breastbone and pubic bone. Drive the right foot heavy. And just see how high can you lift your right knee up off the mat. So strengthening the side buttocks. Right foot heavy, right knee lifting, strong between breastbone and pubic bone. Okay, and then release. We'll keep this arrangement with your hips. I like to come up onto my hand for this one. And then I prefer a soft block, if I can find it. And it just feels better. And this helps encourage the rotation to happen in our thoracic spine rather than the neck. So a good neck stabilizer. So we've got this sort of lunge-ish position of our legs. You'll take the block on the right side of your head, broaden the rib cage away from the left hand, stabilize between breastbone and pubic bone. So we've got our intra-abdominal pressure going, and then rotate towards the floor. Good. And then de-rotate. And do that a couple rounds. And there's a tendency to kind of sway your spine in this C curve, kind of slumping into the shoulder. So see if you can really resist that. Each time you de-rotate, find an exaggerated length or movement of your rib cage away from your bottom hand. Good. Okay, and then we'll release. I love that one. Okay, let's do it on the second side. So you'll come onto your right hip. Block is at the medium height for your left leg, left knee shin-ish. And from here, you already de-slump, kind of unslouch your right shoulder, move your rib cage away from your right elbow. And then the left leg is helping as much as it can. Let's see, I'm gonna scoot it in a little bit. Yeah, get it, Goldilocks there. And then, holding the plank pose as much as you can from your left leg. The right leg here is a kickstand, but let the left leg be important. Moving away out of your right shoulder. And then I feel my head forward of the pose. Good. And then really stabilize between breastbone and pubic bone and find the breath into your back body. Good. 2 more breaths here. Keep moving your pelvis higher. And then release and come down. Good. Okay, so now this block moves out of the way and your bottom foot just slides forward in a 90-degree angle, straight out from your hip joint roughly. Left knee slides back in line with your Tadasana line. And then again, we move the rib cage away from the bottom elbow, from the right elbow. From here, your back foot's heavy, and you just see, can you lift your left knee up? And I can feel, wow, I'm definitely in a back bend. So see if you can stabilize anterior abdominal wall and then come into that. And there'll be a tendency for the pelvis to do this, but we want this to be a femur move. So the two hip points stay facing straight forward as you try to lift your left knee as high as you can. Go for it. Is this hard? This is an important move. Strong outer hips helps us with our gait, walking. Good. Unslump your right shoulder. This is just such a good shoulder move as well. It's a full body. Like I said, we're kind of doing a wham bam full body move. Okay, movements, I should say. Let's get our soft block now. And I like to do this one up on my hand. And my hand's kind of pushing out and away, broadening the rib cage away from the hand. And then the block helps stabilize cervical spine. So we're getting all this lovely nice side neck stability. And then taking your time to rotate towards the floor and then de-rotate to face the side of the mat. And I really can see I'm slumping into a C curve, which is not bad, but for now we're just wanting to focus more on rotational capacity. So strengthening anterior abdominal wall, continuing to move the rib cage away from the hand and then rotating. So we're feeling that rotational movement along the spine, the thoracic spine, but also I love this closed chain rotation happening in our right shoulder. Do you love it? I do. It feels really, really good to me. Good. Okay, maybe one more. And de-rotate. Okay, we're gonna do downward dog one more time with some options. If you're loving side plank, we'll give that a try. Otherwise, stop anywhere along the storyline here. So we're reaching up and back through the hips. Pivot your heels to the left, shift forward into plank. So we're in this staggered stance of our feet, plank with a twist. You could make your right hand light, really strong through your body to float the right arm up, turn open into your side plank. Lift your hips higher, head back in line with your spine. And then coming down, lift your hips, spiral your heels through center and to the right. Shift forward plank, wide back body. Drive the floor away. Left hand could be tented, or if you feel comfortable, you can reach it up into side plank. Lift your hips higher, head in line with your spine. And then one more time, we rotate back to the floor, lift up and de-rotate your feet. And we have an option to do one more round. Heels to the left, plank, optional side plank, lifting the right hand high. Have a buoyancy through your whole body. And then rotational movement back to the floor, through downward dog, heels to the right. Come forward, plank. And then maybe you're lifting left hand into side plank. Good, okay, that was our last one, downward dog. Take a couple breaths here. And then come and rest, however is restful for you. So sit, child's pose, switch to cross-legged, come lay down for a couple breaths, whatever you would like. And just feeling as you pause, as you slow down after quite a bit of a back-to-back movements, how it feels to be still and just have more awareness to direct towards your body, being right here in this moment, and specifically just your breathing in and breathing out. All right. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. I hope this is feeling good. And yeah, it's been such a joy to be doing these daily practices with you. Definitely had my coffee today, so hopefully this felt all right and not too fast paced. Take care. Thank you.